Hi, I'm Rachel from Little Vintage Photography, and ILFORD have asked me to create this series of bite-sized videos to help introduce you to some darkroom techniques. In this video, we're going to be looking at using direct positive paper. One of ILFORD's really interesting papers is something called Direct Positive. It's a fibre-based paper which comes in a pack like this. It comes in a variety of sizes. I really like the 4x5 format because it's perfect for using in large format photography. It's about the same size as 4x5 sheet film. Just like sheet film, you can load it into a dark slide like this, which would go into the back of a large format camera like my Chroma here, or into a Harman Obscura pinhole, or even a pinhole camera that you've built for yourself. So it means that it's a really simple way of getting into large format photography. As the name suggests, direct positive paper gives us a positive image directly out of camera, rather than having to work with a negative, which needs processing first in order to create that final positive print. There are a couple of things to be aware of when working with direct positive paper. Firstly, it's a fibre-based paper, which means that it will handle slightly differently from a resin-coated paper and will require a little bit more washing in order to make it archival. Secondly, although you would obviously never normally do this outside of the darkroom, if I take a piece of paper out of the box, you can see that it is pink on the emulsion side. Now, this is totally fine and to be expected. Finally, it is a high contrast paper, which will give you a high contrast final print, as you can see here with the deep blacks and bright highlights. In order to add a little more tonal range, you can also try a technique called preflashing. Preflashing basically means quickly exposing or flashing the paper with light before loading it into the dark slide or popping it into the camera and then making the normal exposure for a photograph. A way of judging how much light or how long to flash the paper for is actually quite a simple technique and much like creating a test strip. Open the box of paper and take out a sheet under the red light in the darkroom. Place it emulsion side up under your enlarger. It's a glossy finish paper, so you should be able to see that and feel it. Having set your f-stop to around f11 or f16 and then using a piece of black card, create a test strip of exposure increments such as 2 or 3 second intervals. Process as you would do with any normal black and white print. Make sure to agitate it fully in the tray because the direct positive paper has slightly raised edges, so you want to make sure the chemical fully covers the paper. Once your test strip print has dried, it will look something like this. What you want to do is check the exposure steps until you find the one just before solid black and make a note of the exposure time. In this case, with my enlarger, it was 3 seconds. This is the length of time, therefore, that I would flash my paper for before loading it into the dark slide or the camera and making the exposure, as this will help to create a wider tonal range between the darks and lights of the print. So these are a couple of examples of final direct positive prints made in camera, both with and without the pre-flashing technique. And as you can see, there is a subtle difference between the two. There are also loads of other creative applications with direct positive paper. You might want to try something like this, which is called a photogram. So I've used an object, placed it on top of the paper, and then exposed it to the light underneath the enlarger, and it's created something like this as my final print. So that was working with direct positive paper. I hope you found the video useful and that it's inspired you to have a go for yourself. We'd love to hear from you in the comments, and if you've got any of your own images or your own work to share, then please do that on ILFORD's social media channels. If you'd like to find out more about other darkroom techniques, then check out ILFORD's YouTube channel. Thanks very much for watching.